Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are going to be redoing the Goth house in The Sims 2. I have a lot of lore to share with you about my game. So, the family has expanded. In this video, pretty much everybody's dead. And by that, I mean Mortimer died because he was old as hell anyway. Cassandra also died because she aged into an elder and I played with them for too long and she just poofed out of existence. Like she died, became an urnstone. Actually, that's it. Everybody else is still alive. So, Cassandra married Darren because Dawn left her at the altar, as per usual. Alexander aged up. He went to college. He moved out. He married a dormie, like somebody from his university dorm, and they have a kid. The kid's name is Jeremy. Now, in my last Sims 2 video, I think I mentioned that Darren and Cassandra had a child. At this point in my game, you don't see it here, but they have 3 children. All of them have gone through university. All of them have aged up. One of them has had their first child of 3 because their child's lifetime want, their oldest daughter, is to graduate 3 children from college. That was Cassandra's lifetime want as well. So they had 3 girls, Violet, Eleanor, and Ruby. Now, when I played The Sims 2 a couple weeks ago, I had an issue. The fire alarm did not go off when there was a fire. That's because when I placed what I thought was a vent hood that was also a fire alarm over the oven in the kitchen, it was not actually a fire alarm. It was just a decorative vent hood. I thought it was functional. It said in the description that it was a fire alarm, but I think that was just ripped from like the product description in The Sims 4, like what appears as the catalog thing or something. I don't know. It was a converted item. Anyway, that didn't happen. So they had to physically call the fire department. The fire department came, they put out the fire. Okay, fine. We went back into buy mode. I got rid of the vent hood and I put an actual alarm in the kitchen, like a smoke detector. As soon as I entered live mode again, the smoke detector kept going off. It wouldn't stop. The fire was gone. The oven had been like completely obliterated, but like the fire was gone. So at this time too, they had their first child, a boy named Jeremy. So because of this, and because of an infinite loop that I had where the firefighter kept coming to the lot and then saying they had to go, I quit without saving. When I reloaded, I did the preemptive duty of getting rid of the vent hood, placing in the smoke detector. God forbid there was another fire. They had their first child, a girl named Violet, who had her first child as of last night in my game. She married a townie, I think. His name is Kenneth Reeves or something. Anyway, they have a daughter. Her name is Iris. They also live in this house. They initially lived in Blue Water Village in one of like the little houses. I moved them into here because Cassandra and Darren have always lived here since they got married. Dirk also lived here. Obviously, he moved out. He did not go to college. He married Lilith Pleasant. They have 3 kids and they also live with Angela's and Lilith's parents in a big house in Blue Water Village. I think I talked about this. Angela married Dustin Broke. They have 1 child, a boy named Arlo. Lilith and Dirk have 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. Their first daughter's name is Marin. Then there's Julian and finally Cole. All 3 of them have grown up, gone to university. I haven't played with any of them since. We're gonna get to that eventually, probably in the game. Brandy Broke also had 3 boys, as you guys may know. They had Dustin, who was already in the game, and Bo, who was a toddler, and then her 3rd child was Oliver. I talked about this when I moved them into a new house in Pleasant View, like one of the pre-made houses. So she now lives with Angela and Dustin, I think. Bo also grew up and got married. Dustin and Angela and Lilith and Dirk are all elders, and I think that Bo is also an elder. His wife has not aged up into an elder. He married another dormie. Her name is Pamela something or other. I can't remember her last name, but they have a child. I can't remember his name at this point in time. What did I name him? Bailey. They have a child, a boy named Bailey, who's a teenager. And Oliver, the 3rd broke boy, I think that I played with him already in university. I can't remember. So I have Saijon's university mods to make the timeline a lot faster in uni. So it's supposed to be 48 hours per per semester, which is fantastic because really, honestly, the university experience was so long. And considering I'm going to be playing university with so many Sims in this next generation again, I really wanted a shorter time span. So far, it's been going great. Can't remember who I played with and who I haven't. I would have to like open my game right now and see who's in the bin and who's not. Anyway, I had an issue with my game recently. So I downloaded some mods from the Ninth Wave, like Ninth Wave Sims or whatever they're called, and I was using them and I liked them. One of the mods was no weeds. I think that was causing problems in my game. I'm sure that they're a great mod creator, but like I removed all of their mods and I've noticed that I'm not having any more issues in my game anymore. The main problem being that I couldn't place a driveway or anything in the goth lot or anything along the front of the lot. It kept saying that it was intersecting other objects. I don't have stuck object remover. I should probably get that at some point, but I just removed the no weeds mod and like every other mod that they have that I have in my game folder, I think, which was only like 5, but I got rid of them and so far so good. I don't know if it was actually the no weeds mod, but you know, as soon as I loaded into the goth lot again, there were weeds everywhere, so that might have been it. However, the other issue that I was having was that like the lots sometimes, specifically I noticed this with one of the university dorms that I had played previously, it got confused and it tried to mishmash some of the dorm rooms with like the default furniture versus like the ones that I had already put in there. So there was like furniture overlapping and things visible on upper floors that shouldn't be visible and things like that. So this only happened when I removed those mods. Everything else had been normal up until then, or so I thought. It makes a lot of sense though as to why there may have been routing issues, however, and there were some invisible item problems that I had specifically with this lot too. Like for example, I know that I put a table lamp down on one of the end tables in Cassandra and Darren's room. However, when I reloaded the lot at one point after doing all of this, like a couple play sessions later, the lamp was gone and I couldn't place anything in place of the item. Like it said that it was intersecting other objects and it clearly wasn't. So I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I really don't think it matters as much because the mods are gone and so far so good. The game has been great. I also have not experienced any major issues. I did have one crash that happened, but it was when my game was quitting. I had saved and then I hit quit. I don't like doing save and quit at the same time because like God forbid that it crashes and then you have a whole host of issues where it crashes when you're saving. So I saved, I quit. As I was quitting, it said the application crashed. Okay, whatever. Again, I think that some of this was caused by mods because like I've literally had no issues up until this point. I do have some lag on some lots, mainly like larger lots where there are a lot of Sims, specifically sometimes when there are also playable Sims that will show up because like of the game re-rolling their wants and stuff. That's a thing that happens with some people. I think I mentioned this before, but I am playing the Ultimate Collection with community patches. I'm not playing the Legacy Edition, so your mileage may certainly vary, as is what's typical with EA games, I feel like, but I'm really having a lot of fun playing this and I'm really enjoying being back in my Sims era. I was a Sims kid growing up. I started with the original Sims and I remember like my excitement whenever I would get like an expansion pack as a gift or something, and I remember like one time I saved up all my money and I got like, I think the Sims House Party or something, and I specifically remember because my parents knew that I loved this game. When I was like, whenever the Sims 2 came out, which I think I was like 11 at that point, I got the Sims 2 base game plus like the holiday pack for Christmas that year. It was like the holiday edition or something, so it was like all like Christmas looking because, you know, it was I think supposed to be like that because it came out like around Christmas, or those versions of the game came out around Christmas. That was like a core memory, playing it like on the family computer. In the house that I grew up in, we had like a third bedroom that was like a guest room / office, so it's like where the family computer was, and there was also like a pull-out sleeper sofa in there and like a writing desk and like a chair and like, you know, some storage in the closet that was in there. It was just a third bedroom, but like it was, you know, the office / guest room, whatever. I spent so many hours playing The Sims on that computer, both the original and The Sims 2. And I remember when Bon Voyage came out, how disappointed I was because I couldn't really get it to run because of the graphics needed to run like the ocean lots, like with the beach water and stuff. Now people have issues even getting this game to run on modern machines, which is just fantastic. So I don't know. Overall, I'm really enjoying this game. I am sad though that Cassandra is dead. That kind of sucks. And they also had a cat, and the cat died too. And I didn't even know the cat died. I kind of wish, and I guess I know why they don't do this because it also might be annoying, but I kind of wish that there was like a special event camera for the deaths. I know that there's like the picture-in-picture camera, but the picture-in-picture camera shows up for like the weirdest crap for me sometimes. Like every time the mailman comes, for example, or every time there's like a fight or something stupid like that, the picture-in-picture camera shows up. And it's like, I don't care about that. I just want to see if my Sims are dead or not. Like I didn't even know that she was dead until I got the notification in the top right corner that her life insurance policy had been given out. And then Darren wouldn't stop crying, obviously, because she was dead, which is understandable and really, really sad. So that's how we're doing so far. I had Darren get to the top level of the talent badge for flower making. So we have snapdragons, which I've been placing right next to the baby's bed. Iris is a toddler now, Violet's child, Cassandra's first grandchild, which she did live to see, which is great. So she's a toddler, and I use the toddler beds that were made, some of them by Platinum Aspiration on Tumblr and others by somebody on Mod The Sims, I think, because there's like a mod where there's like higher motives for toddlers sleeping in pet beds. It probably extends to pets too, but you guys know how like when you're playing a toddler, they can either sleep in their crib or they can curl up on a pet bed. And for the crib, you have to have somebody else put them in the crib. Quite frankly, I was kind of getting sick of them being stuck in the crib and people wanting to constantly take them out of the crib. The good thing about the pet bed is that when they go sleep, and they do sleep there autonomously, but when they go sleep, everybody ignores them. I'm so sick of people picking up the babies and the toddlers and wanting to feed them constantly and bathe them constantly. I don't know if it's their personality, because I don't play with all family Sims, so I don't know what the deal is with that. They're just like obsessed with the baby and the toddler and the kids too, to some extent. Like I've had kids miss the school bus because their parents or an older teen in the household was like playing with them and didn't want to stop playing with them, and then everybody missed school that day, and it was so aggravating. So usually what I do is I hire a nanny, even though the nanny is also annoying and the nanny picks fights with people. Literally, guys, I hired a nanny for one of the households that I'm playing. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was one of the broke boys, and the nanny kept like intimidating the broke boy. I think it was Bo. The nanny kept intimidating him. The nanny that I hired for this household initially, when we had Cassandra's 3 girls, kept picking fights with one of the co-workers that Cassandra would bring home from work. Like literally every time this sim was on the lot, the nanny would be fighting with her. So I don't know. Violet has a want to get a butler. I might do that. I've never ever played with butlers in this game. I think that you have to have a bed for them, I'm pretty sure, because I think they like live in your house. So the good thing about the goth house is that there's that whole like 3rd level kind of attic situation that you can use for like extra storage. Like for example, I have an easel, the florist bench, and a yoga mat up there because I have a mod where you can do yoga on a yoga mat. I think I'm gonna just chuck the butler's bed up there and have them sleep in the attic. Not that I think that that should be a thing that happens in real life. I think that you should, you know, if you have a live-in assistant, give them actual like good quarters to live in. But this is The Sims. I think that all they care about is that they have a bed. So we're gonna try that out and see how it works. I know I haven't been doing like any gameplay footage on this channel. I've talked about it. I want to. Part of my issue is that because I'm visually impaired, I have to look kind of closely at the screen. And I don't know if when I'm doing that, if like it would come across well on my mic, like me talking, like if I would be close enough to my mic. I don't think I would. I think I might have to get a headset or something like for this situation to have like a mic on me. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But I have just been really enjoying playing this game, and I can't believe that we're on the 3rd generation of the Goths and the 3rd generation of the Brokes, I guess. Brandy lives with one of them, I think I mentioned earlier. I can't remember. However, it is really funny because I have not touched Don Lothario or the Caliente sisters at all. They've literally been hanging out in their houses for 3 generations, terrorizing the town as walk-bys and stuff. I might play with them at some point. because sometimes it's easier to play with a single sim or 2 sims instead of like a whole big family. I also want to get another pet. I liked having the cat because everybody liked playing with the cat. It was one of the cats that we got through the adoption system. It was Baxter. He was great. I might do a dog. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. I did get a Womrat cage for the Pleasant / Dreamer family, who are the Dreamers, aka Dirk and Lilith and company, because one of the kids wanted a Womrat cage. So I was like, all right, we'll get it. And it was cute. I named the Womrat Jimmy, and everybody likes him. I do think though that for my unmarried sims so far, whether they are still in the bin or these upcoming children in this next generation, I'm going to maybe marry some of them to sims that I'm going to make and create a sim. I'm just not seeing any townies that I like who are showing up, and I'm also not seeing a lot of teen townies that I like either, to have them like start dating a teen. But then when they start dating a teen, most of my teens go to college, so it's like that relationship is lost because then the teen doesn't really like age up and go with them, especially if it's a townie. I don't know. So that's my plan, at least for extending the family further on in the generations as we go here. It's really cute though, because some of the kids, Cassandra's kids and Dirk's kids and stuff, although I guess they're the next generation, because I keep forgetting that Dirk is like Darren's son. Their kids are all like best friends with each other, which I think is really cute. Like they keep taking them home from school as friends and things when they were kids, and it was really nice to see and have like that family bond going on, even though, you know, Cassandra and Darren's kids were technically like the aunts of Dirk and Lilith's kids, but that's neither here nor there. Sims genetics are weird. Family trees are weird. I actually have to like keep track of this family tree. I started doing it on Family Echo because I just can't figure out half the time who's who. I have a mod too to recognize extended family when it comes to second cousins and great aunts and uncles and stuff. At least that's what the mod says. I think it's on Mod The Sims. I believe that it's linked in my downloads database spreadsheet. So far that hasn't really affected my gameplay at all. It's just like I'm obviously not wanting to like romance some of the Sims because like everybody's related. The Brokes are related to the Pleasants by marriage, and then they're related to the Dreamers by marriage, and they're related to the Goths by marriage, and it's just like one big family tree that's going to get less and less and less as the generations go on, and we, you know, marry townies and other families that are around. I am going to move all the graves to a community lot because I'm kind of sick of all the ghosts hanging around, so that's a problem for another day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave any comments, feedback, and suggestions down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.